Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just So I am playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did more job quests, and we're gonna go and do more job quests. They just keep coming. 64 gives me Caustic Bite and Storm Bite. So the thing that happened at 64 was Bite Mastery. What is the potency difference again? 100, and this now does 150. And the potency of Venom has been changed from 15 to 20. Okay. And then Windbite, 60 originally, now it is 100. And the dot does, instead of 20, 25. Does it also change anything else? Because Venomous and Windbite are cost against Stormbite. Okay, no, that's it. Is this the other thing that I'm thinking of? Yeah, it's this one over here. That's for later on. Alright, anyway. We've continued our surveillance of Norval's activities. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt that he has an ulterior motive. In order to find the tome, it's past time we took our search to the field. But always he finds an excuse to stall. Whenever I suggest investigating this ruin or that, he will inevitably claim that we haven't enough information. It's plain he doesn't want us out there. Nay, bastard wants all that outside goodness for himself. Just try as we might, we haven't been able to find out where he sneaks off to. Weirder than a bird, that one. Meanwhile, the masked bandits continue ambushing Alliance patrols, and they always know exactly where and when to strike. It's as though they have insider knowledge of our patrol routes. The only explanation being there's a mole in the garrison leaking them intelligence. And who could that mole be save for Norval? Every move of his marks him as the prime suspect. We know little and less of Norval's plot, but it can only lead to ill. We must needs bring it to light, and swiftly, before he can do any more harm. To that end, Gidlod and I have been keeping Norval close, allowing him no chance to act. By now he will be positively itching to rendezvous with his accomplices. And this is where you come in, Lynn. We need you to feed Norval some false information that I am an alliance meeting and Gidlod a drunken stupor. That I am in an... Man, I can't read. Our man will not pass up the chance to sneak out, and he is like to do so with greater haste than usual. This will afford us an opening to shadow him to his destination. Drunken stupor, really? Not so flattering, I know, but you cannot deny that it is believable. Now then, pray go to Norval and plant our misinformation. Once you have done so, come and meet us outside the castrum. Most of them unavailable, and there I was ready to strike out on the trail of a promising lead. Well, disappointing though it is, the search will have to wait. Now, if you will excuse me, I have some business to attend to. You fool. It worked, my friends. Norval rushed out of the castle not a moment ago. He was headed east towards a ruin called Gir Kehim. Gidlod trails him even as we speak. Come, let us join the chase. Yay, the chase in the area that I... Oh, for the love of... Let's go to Rogger's region. Let's go from there. This is like the thing that I was really, really hoping for. That like I would be back here by the time that we reach level 65. But I really didn't think so. So yeah, here we are. Still dealing with... very slow movement speed. Oh well, at least I'm high enough level to the point that the enemies don't attack me. At least that's something. Ah, another instance. Anyway. It's a good old-fashioned tryst. Let's have a peek, shall we? We have it, my lord. Turned up among his retainers' possessions. last, long last, Gilbard's journal, and not a moment too soon. I just about outstayed my welcome at the garrison. When an adventurer caught us falling upon the patrol, I had feared that the game was up. But thankfully the other two were blind fools, all this time watching me, and they didn't see a thing. What is skimmed to tone, but it seems you were right about what happened to Lord Vanchilla. Was there ever any doubt? Once we return to Gridania and make this knowledge public, none shall harbour so much as a shred of sympathy for Alamigo. That shall pave the way for us to propagate Lord Vanchillon's will and advance our agenda. At last we've uncovered Norval's purpose, and the tome has arrived before our eyes, no less. Commander Huiwa, spoke of a faction that vehemently opposes our aiding of Alamigo. I dare say we found them. But how did Norval come to lead such a crew? And what is this talk of Vanchillon? What, the Gridanian generals sung about in nigh 100 songs who led our forces against Gilbard in the Autumn War? Only to die of an illness before the fighting was over. Aye, the very same. Having lost his leadership, we would have lost the war entirely had the other nations not come to our aid. I don't know about the rest of you, but it seems to me our damning little secret pertains to Vanchillon. And Norval seeks to use it to stoke the fires of anti-Alamigan sentiment to some sinister end. This cannot be borne. We cannot let them have the journal. Are you with me? Here we go. Sir, yes, sir. To begin with, I want you to... Norval, we cannot allow you to have that tome. No, how did you... No matter, you'll not stand in my way. Alright, buddy. Oh yeah, Bart rotation, baby. My favorite rotations. We're gonna do this. I'm also gonna remove this poison because it's annoying. What the hell is this? Voice of Valve, regenerating HP over time. Cool. Have at them! So many bows. We gotta remove this poison. It is yet again annoying. Norval of the branching path. It's a nice name. It's just running. He ain't running. Yeah, we're spreading. What is he? He's using magical spear powers. Question mark. So yeah, he has a lot of freaking stuff on him. Let's go remove some of that. There we go. Nice kid a lot. Fucking uses an AoE on a single target. GG. Earth Crusher. I'm not even trying to avoid it. There we go. Bitch. Perhaps you're not blind fools after all. Very well, take your journal. I take it. Read it. Not a vile crime the Alamegans committed against Lord Venturelon, against my own blood, and see the folly of aiding such honorless people. What do you mean, your own blood? What is with all this royalty over here? Or maybe not particularly royalty, but... Did I mishear? Did he just say that Venturelon was his ancestor? Oh, that's what it sounded like. Venturelon, the folk hero loved by all, celebrated in countless songs. And that pain in the rears, his descendant. I would have guessed, and I wrote, if we got bigger concerns, let's see what this musty old tome's hiding. To Venturelon, I extended an invitation to negotiate peace. The meeting must be in secret. I explained, for not all my officers share my view. My opponent accepted and arrived at the appointed hour. Peace. Everybody knows there weren't no peace on offer. The hell's this about? But he continues. Without suspicion, he took his seat, and without suspicion, he drank the poisoned wine. The effect was swift and sure, and within moments, the man lay dead at my feet. Wait, Venturelon was murdered by poison? To this day, Lord Venturelon remains an object of worship among many Gridanians. Were they to learn of this, the present grumblings against Alamegan liberation are liable to grow into large-scale protests. There's no denying that some Alamegans did some terrible things in the past, but what Nerval's trying to do ain't no better. Might be as he's after the truth, but nothing good will come of it, and certainly not any decent songs. The truth? Tell me, Kidlot. When we surrendered this journal to our superiors, what do you think they would do with the knowledge? The seats here aside, I reckon the brass hats at the Adder's nest would want to cover it up, bury it nice and deep and pretend it never existed. Aye, nor would I put it past them to exploit the knowledge to gain leverage in dealings with Alamega. But whatever they may do is none of our concern, is it? Judy compels us to hand the journal over to headquarters. You're the leader of our merry band, Sanson, and Judy compels me to obey your orders. Shite, though. They often are. You decide whether we hand over the journal or not. Gidler would entrust this decision to me, but what of you, Lynn? I think we should all decide. We're a crew. We're a band. Forgive me this unseemly display. Gilad has the right of it. As a leader, mine is the burden of decision. At rates, this ain't the place for moral dilemmas. Let's get ourselves back to the castle before Nerval and his mates decide they want to have another go. Yes, yes. Gilad has disappeared somewhere in the castle, giving me room to ponder matters. Shouldn't that? I have since read through Gilbard's journal, and I'm afraid there is no two ways about it. He summoned Venturelon under the pretense of peace, and then slew him with poison. However, one mystery remains. It appears one of Venturelon's sons was present at the fateful meeting. Landrenel was his name, and he narrowly escaped with his life. But instead of crying bloody murder, he announced that his sire had died of illness. Here is a man who witnessed his own flesh and blood slain, and in the most underhanded manner. Yet he concealed the truth. Why did he do this? I do not understand. But it avails us not to agonize over the motives of those who lived in the past. Nay, our country concerns the future. For the future of both nations, the truth is best kept buried. No good can come of digging it up. It's crystal clear it must be done. And yet, though my mind sees a logic, my heart rebels against the idea. Forgive me then. It seems I require more time to think on it. Even more time? Jeez. Louise. 64 gets me clean shot mastery. Which just changes clean shot to heated clean. Clean shot. Let's see, potency of 360. Wow. That's almost 100 extra potency for that upgrade. That's pretty good. Right. Release the hounds. There's so much dialogue and so much questing with these job quests. Christ almighty. I'm starting to see why they would opt to do role quests as opposed to individual job quest lines. I have something to share with you then. I pulled a scrap of parchment from a campfire I found up by Hemlock, and the bits that weren't blackened and burned were an interesting read. Seems it was a contract of sorts, promising the sale of a historically significant blade to a certain Laminson merchant. I'll give you one good guess as to which bloody blade it's referring to. The Laminson bloke never gives a name, but he's infamous for building a trade empire on the ashes of the calamity. There's rumours aplenty as to why that shifty bugger is so successful, and not a few of them point to a profit made from black market goods. Well, turns out that this infamous merchant was stopped at a checkpoint on the border. The Temple Knights there were keeping an eye out for the stolen sword, and reported that the trader was last seen making for Boulder Downs. That seems to match up with what we read in the contract, eh? We need to find that merchant and wait until the thief shows up with the blade. What say you both? I can count on you to come along, right? Now you just hold on there, miss. I took an instructor job, but it don't mean you can drag me into the fray to wipe your goddamn horses. No one's saying you have to do any fighting. Think of it as a chance to train us in the field. Even if you might need to dodge a bullet or two. Why do I let myself get roped into these messes? Well, seeing as that merchant has given me my homeland a bad name, I suppose I can help you this one time. Better see you out there too, Lynn. That's settled then. Get your kits and meet us near Boulder Downs. The boulder is conflicted. I was wondering why I recognize that name. It's because it's a horrible place to get to, because on the other side of the freaking map, on the map, there's only one goddamn aetheryte. And it can't even fly through the middle because there's a mountain in the way. And this is a realm reborn, meaning that you can't even fly that high, so you can't get over this fucking mountain. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, these are all like relic weapon madness. But I need no longer worry about it, because now I only still need to do the Endwalker weapons, which is just doing daily roulettes, really. Just a tombstone grind. Spoilers! Oh my god! Anyway. We found the merchant, Lynn. He's out there doing a deal as we speak, but first we need to make sure his customer is the thieving bastard we're looking for. Sim, or Simmy, whatever. Grab another hound and sniff out the situation. You best go too, Lynn, just in case them pups run into something they can't handle. If Sim fouls this up, be sure to give him a good smack across the snout for me. Ah, yes. Another instance. Son of a fucking bitch. What the hell, I don't trust me as trusted someone after all the drills Rosenthal put us through. I reckon we can manage a bit of spying. The instance says otherwise, friend. Are you certain of this? As I recall, the client requested that runting be delivered directly upon its acquisition. Aye, that was the deal. We delivered the sword, but then our client, as you say, turned around and gave it right back. Changed a bleeding heart or something. I don't know. Look, can you fence this thing or not? Yes, yes, I'm sure we can come to an equitable arrangement. What the fuck are these guys doing? Oh, it is the bloke, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He's got the sword. Understood. Now let's get him ready to charge in. We wait here for the rest of the hands. Yeah, you didn't see anything in that scene. Sacred Blade Rungting. An impressive piece. Heavy with story, with history and tradition. Should fetch a fine price with the right buyer. Well, thank the bloody gods for that. Now about our share. I've got something to share with you right here, brigand. Who in the bloody hells are you? Hail the hounds. We have held the line, Ishgard, and you are all suspects in the theft of the Sacred Blade Rungting. Now get shot! Ishgardian soldiers. I'll not risk my life against you fanatics. Hey, get back here, you coward. I don't know how you found us, but you'll not be leaving here alive. Are you sure about that? I'm about to shoot this man into next week. That is a lot of people! Holy bejesus. I also have a couple of skills that I only have because I'm higher level. Which I will explain once we actually get them. For now we can just look at them. In their majesty. Rostenthal the Reborn. Had enough yet? Bloody else. Right, bring out my beauty. There, I have a new playmate for you. Have fun. Battle Torama. Is that all you got? Am I going to die because I'm doing AoEs? Because I am taking a noticeable amount of damages. Or they get a bleeding Torama, but you don't get stunned. Turn the flag, Gerlin. Stop it from getting off them nasty shocks. Have to interrupt the moment. Mega blaster, blaster. Bruh. I'm gonna run! I interrupted the other one, so... Rip, friends. They're all petrified? Wow. At least it's not like an instant failure. Good to know that I should not just... I hate the fact that the other thing is interruptible then. Kinda screws it up. Because I also know that Mega Blaster stuns, There we go. That wasn't too long. It wasn't like an entire freaking Shakespearean opera. Lads are still after the bandit chief himself, but it looks like we've got this lot sorted. I'll march him back to Ishgard, squeeze him for information, and hand him over to the Muscadine. I hand him over to Muscadine, whatever. We did it, Lynn. We got the sword back. The hounds have done well, eh? The hounds have done very well. Thanks, Lynn. It means a lot coming from you. Well, of course they've bloody done well. They've got me to trade them. Sorry, Hilda, but the leader's gone. It seems the bastard had a chuckle hidden nearby. He was in a saddle and away before we could catch him. Bah, well, there's nothing to do about it. Nothing to be done about it. The blade's ours now, in any case, so let's call this one a victory. Time to head home. Lynn, hang about him for a bit, would you? Or something we discuss. We do. When he was fighting them bandits, I got a glimpse of the leader's weapon, and I reckon I might know where he'd got it from. But I'll need to do some snooping around before I'm certain. Old habits die hard, I guess. Anyway, do me a favor and tell Ilda that I'll be taking some time off until I've satisfied my curiosity. Okay. Yes, boss. Even though he's not my boss, bitch. Right, I can just walk over there. Or run, to be more precise. Biggest Yeetus. Welcome back, Lynn. Wait, where's Rosenthal? I said I was with you. Ah, taking time off to chase after a hunch. What else is that old pirate up to? Guess I'll just have to muddle along without him while he's looking into the firearm business. Besides, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit curious about it myself. What about you, Lynn? Come back to the room when you can. Wait, what about you, Lynn? Come back to the room when you can. It might be us. We'll have a tale to tell. All right, time for black mage. Oh, if I have to deal with an instance as black mage, that's gonna be fun. Me going through the black mage story every time the game wants me to play black mage. Ugh. I have a weird relationship with black mage. I feel like it is fun to a degree, but there's so many things about it that is also frustrating to deal with. Anyway, level 64 gives us Thunder 4, which is a straight up upgrade from Thunder 3. Where is it over here? Thunder Master, yep. Sorry, Thunder 2. So our AoE Thunder 2 turns to Thunder 4. Why not? Let's take a look. Thunder 2. Deals a attack of 15 potency. 50, sorry, and a 15 potency dot. Still does only 50 damage, but the potency is returned to, like, is changed to 20. Okay. It is an increase. Lynn, I trust you have not been shirking your studies. Mistress Shitoto expects much of us, and I would not disappoint her. For my own part, I have called out to her intently time and again within my mind in hopes of conveying any and all knowledge that might avail us in staving off this impending disaster. Though she does not respond, I have the distinct sensation that she is listening, in some way or another. Doubtless she will return when she sees fit, but in the meanwhile, we can ill afford to bide our time, and so I have taken Zaya Nelha's advice. I can just see the smug grin on his face as I say that, and reached out to our friend. Not moments ago, a postmogul came by with a missive from our friend Daza of the 269th Order. As luck would have it, it seems he has knowledge that might serve us well, to wit reports of recent sightings of rampaging golems. I would ask you to go on ahead and see what he knows. I will call for that holier-than-thou here and join you shortly. Not that I am enamored of his company, far from it, but his insights his insights have proven to be not altogether useless on occasion. Right, of course. Lynn, it has been eons, eras, ages, eons. I have heard that the spirit of the legendary Shitoto comes alive again inside Lalai. But could this wondrous tale possibly be true? It is indeed, friend Daza. She is a capricious type, though, and wakes only when she has a mind to. A fact that I have explained some 700 times to this mutton-headed here, who still insists beyond all reason that I should be able to summon her at will. You do me discredit, Lalai. I merely suggested that if there were some means by which we could summon Shitoto at our own convenience, rather than waiting for her to come forth of her own accord, it might serve us in facing the dangers ahead. Summon her? You speak of the illustrious founder of my arts, as if she were a mere serving girl. You will watch your tongue in the presence of your betters. Zalai Nella less... I meant no disrespect, but I do not deny the power of your arts, nor the good it can do in the right hands. I am simply... too stubborn and stupid to fully accept it. Oh well, I suppose none of us are perfect. Myself excluded, of course. 269th Order Mendicant Daza, I presume. Tell me all you have seen or heard about this rampaging golem. Am I asked to be believed? Trusted? Sworn by? Believed? Is this truly the great Sototo who stands before my eyes? Yes, yes, it must be. I mean, but of course, my lady. Yes, yes, Daza will tell you all he knows. I saw a strange golem, odd, curious, strange, wandering in the tangle. And that is not all. It was no ordinary golem, no, but rather the same one I saw in the tome handed down from my forebears, Dagu. A golem of ancient Mach. One of my own creations. Why, that is simply inconceivable. I designed them to be utterly rampage-proof and left copious instructions to ensure that my loyal apprentices and their apprentices, and so on and so forth, would see that they stay that way. Mayhap your followers are not so diligent in carrying out your orders after your passing. We all know of the chaos and destruction wreaked by Maki sorcerers during the War of the Magi. Suspect that poring over age-old documents on the upkeep of golems was the least of their concerns. Forgive me my doubts, Lady Shitoto, but you seem quite partial to your creations, and your countrymen. If we were to find ourselves locked in a combat with a golem of Mach, do I have your assurance you would not hesitate to strike down our foe? You do not trust me. Trust us, this I know. I am not deaf to the lie's ceaseless grumblings. So be it. You cannot help being a simpleton, no more than I can help being the greatest intellect of any era. That old good Kukuruka told me what became of Maki after my passing when he communed with me a century ago. Do you think I deny the senseless destruction caused by my descendants, with the art I myself wrought, no less? Of course not. For I, unlike some of my present companions, am not a bloody fool. But even a fool must understand that a tool is only as good or evil as she who would wield it. So answer me this. What could I possibly stand to gain from standing idly by as my own creations wreak havoc on the realm I once called home? I will grant you that there is some sense in what you say. In any event, we thank you for your assistance. Dazo. Rest assured that we shall see to the rogue golem before any harm befalls you and yours. To the tangle. Does it ever dwell, never lighten up? It must be so tiring living each day carrying around a brain of solid stone. Burdensome, wearisome, tiring. You can say that again, my synonym-abusing friend, Lin. You know the man better than I, and for that I pity you. Is there nothing we can do to buy ourselves a moment's respite from his inane quibbling? Whatever do you suppose is bothering his puny mind? He's simply in awe of your power. Maybe he worries for a lie. Yes, I have observed this as well. Smaller minds are quick to burden themselves with hand-wringing concern for the well-being of others, as if it were not evident that the girl is more than capable of taking care of herself. In either event, if he insists on tagging along with us, I suppose it should not hurt to win him over. If only so he does not foul things up at the worst possible time. Anyhow, I do believe you have some golems to smite into oblivion. The tangle, was it? I'll see you there, and try not to get lost on the way. Trust me, I don't get lost in ARR. There he is. That pause was necessary, yes. Yes. I'm gonna need something to drink in a moment. Because of very obvious reasons. The amount of reading I have to do, and the amount of Lalafell voices. These lands were far more dry and agreeable in my day, but I suppose much can change in 2 millennia, especially without me around to keep things in order. But this is no time to get caught up in the nostalgia. We have golems to smash, and search for. Not necessarily in that order, I suppose. Yes, I can sense particularly strong etheric energies coming from that direction. I will accompany Shitoto to ensure that she remains focused on the task at hand. Once you survey the area south of here, these environs afford our foe no end of hiding spots, and I am ill-inclined to walk into an ambush. I think this may be an instance though, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, it's either an instance or I decided to fight the fate that appears over here sometimes as a black mage. Which, does that make sense? Did you need to be the jobs when you were doing the books? I don't remember. I like how much suffering I did during that and I just don't remember it. Anyway, I was filling my glass while talking about that. You look far and wide, but can discern no sign of golem. The golems rampaging or otherwise. Return to the southwestern reaches of the tangle and see how Shitoto and Zayanolha fare in their search. Oh, they seem to be fighting something. I guess I'll just use ley lines. If I must. Are you fucking kidding me? Whatever, dude, just... And despair. Which is not something I should have right now. Because level 72, but whatever. We're not here for a challenge. If I need challenge, they'll just give me an instance. If only this body were my own, would have raised that oversized block of stone to the ground. Suppose to thank you for coming to my aid. Had I lost consciousness in the midst of battle, I would certainly have been done for, and poor lie with me. No, Lady Chitoto, it is I who owe you a debt of gratitude. I do not draw on the creature's initial strike. I would surely have met an inglorious end, but that is not the least of my failings. It is my fault and mine alone that we were caught unawares. Though it shames me to say so, my eyes were on you when they should have been watching out for our enemy. Who is this sorceress who wields such frightful power? Does she truly mean to save our realm, or will she destroy it? These thoughts continue to haunt me, but no more. Seeing you risk your life for me, a humble hearer you have only just met, I say this with no reservations. You are a paragon of virtue, and a model to all mages, white or black. Why, I do believe those are the most intelligent words I've heard you utter yet. Keep talking like that, I might yet learn to tolerate your presence. But if you think that means I'm going to give you your precious Lalai back, you'd better think again. We still have a falling star to fend off, do we not? My precious Lalai? I've not the slightest idea what you might be implying. You wouldn't, would you? Ahem. Was it not your grand dream to see the white and the black, the arts of healing and destruction united for the common good? So says Lalai at the very least. Is the girl not an invaluable piece to the future you would realize? This is all well and true, but invaluable and precious have different connotations. Mayhap not in your time, but the meanings of words evolve over time, you see. And why am I saying this? What am I saying is, of course Lalai is a friend and ally, but the same could be said of Lyn here. Which is not to say I do not want to see her again, of course, only that... Never mind. At any rate, I do believe we've done all we can here. Lady Chitoto, please forgive me for having doubted you. Henceforth, I promise that I will aid you in whatever way I can. And with that, I do believe I must be off. Somewhere. One last thing, if I may, Lady Chitoto. While you are awake and speaking with us, what becomes of Lalai's consciousness? That is to say, is she still in there, listening? What a curious question. She is slumbering in the recesses of her mind, much as I am when she is awake. But to answer your question, no, she is not listening. Though we do have some rather stimulating conversations from time to time. If you'd like, I can share the details. No. I mean, never mind. I really must be getting off to... right, that place I was going. Are all men in this era so odd? At any rate, I feel my consciousness beginning to wane. Lalai will be waking from slumber ere long, and I would return to Ul'dah before she does. I suggest you do the same. Your friend has much he wishes to discuss with you. Bah. So many words. So many bloody words. Oh my good lord in heaven. Lurking Leech. What an unfortunate name. No. Welcome back then, as you might have surmised. It is I, Lalai. Mrs. Chitoto returned to her repose not moments ago. Before drifting off to slumber, she imparted to me some details regarding what she sees as the next phase of our task. To wit, she would have us venture further afield to investigate any golem menaces that might be stirring out of Aisha. Speaking of menaces, whatever became of that stone headed here, suppose it is too much to hope that Mrs. Chitoto finally set his rope to light. This come through seems to have feelings for you. Yes. I will assume I misheard you, Lyn. On the off chance I did not, pray inform the man that he had best not act upon these feelings in my presence, lest I feel like scorching his precious flowing locks from its scalp. Anyhow, I trust you will keep me informed if I hear a friend exhibits any more impertinent behavior. I will think of suitable retribution. I dare say putting him to sleep and hiding his glasses would send a clear message, and be Rather amusing, no less. In any event, I should return to my research, as should you. Shitoto will doubtless call upon you before long, and our powers must be primed for the occasion. Yes. Alright, and time for Summoner now. An existential crisis. An eggy. Eggy. Absorb egg. Become egg. Let's take a gander, shall we? Let me go and summon Microbinkle. Level 64. Level 64. It has nothing. That is so disappointing when it does nothing. Oh well. You know what it does have? It has a quest. Wow. And of course in the best area in the game, the Apkalu waterfall. Fucking stupid ass. The time has come in. Prin is ready to administer the final trial. Yes, your third challenge is at hand, Mistress. I shall be glad to at last share the wisdom that has long lain dormant within my pages. Thus far, we've had evaluations of raw power and refinement of skill. What then will this third challenge seek to test? That I cannot tell you. Cannot or will not? I do not keep this detail from you for the sake of my own amusement. It must be secret. Were you aware of the test's purpose, such knowledge would unfairly affect its outcome. What I will tell you, however, is that this trial requires conditions that are akin to an actual battlefield. As such, I must ask that you call fellow summoners to your side and arrange a location where you might join hands against a most realistic primal threat. Well, this ought to be welcome news for Captain Wolf. I shall see if his acolytes are available. Greetings, this is Ymitra. I, Ymitra, of the Sons of Saint Koinak. I have a favor to ask. Well, Captain Wolf was more than eager to accept our request. He even offered to arrange exclusive use of a section of Seal Rock. It seems there will be an airship waiting in Uldad to fly us to the island. Shall I rendezvous at the landing once you are prepared then? Yes. This will be the final and most grueling challenge. Pray ready yourself, mistress, that you are not reduced to so much gruel. I have an idea for this episode, friends. However, it may result in a long episode. I guess we'll see once we're done with this. I'll see how much time I have left, and then we'll see what I do. I don't know about you, Lynn, but my nerves are beginning to get the best of me. Captain Wolf and the others have already landed on Seal Rock, so let us not delay the challenge any further. Who could that be? Oh, Summoner Yayasumu. How might I... Pardon? By whom? Lieutenant, can you hear me? Blast. The call was cut off. Lynn, our immortal colleagues are under attack. The situation sounds dire indeed. All the summoners are crippled by injuries, and Captain Wolf alone fights to keep the foe at bay. Our planned battle has become rather more real than we anticipated. We'd best explain matters to the pilot and arrange a rescue party. Ambush, you say? Understood. I'll put in a call for reinforcements. My ship is ready to depart now if you are. Shall we go on ahead? Yes, yes. Proceed. Follow me, Lynn. They should be over this way. Locate a survivor. Let us ensure his continued survival. I'll live, I think. The others who became separated. His wounds are not too serious. Come, Lynn. I mustn't tarry. Hello. Sephiroth. Are these Eggy? I've never seen the like. Steering response. Look at these elegant things. I sure wonder why they're here. I also should have used Searing Light, I suppose. Actually, wait, I shouldn't have, because, you know, I'm not allowed to have that skill yet. Whatever. I will use it the next time that I get Bahamut Trance. Let me go into that. Finish that guy off. There we go. Where we going, Dimitra? Another survivor located. The wounds appear grievous. We must treat these at once. Prin, can you apply pressure? They're completely overmatched. The captain, they drew them away. Oh, it's the knees. Oh. We shall tend to the injured. Go with haste, mistress. Duly noted. Your bookship. Your bookmanship. Anyway. Now I will do the correct thing, which is use my freaking thingamabob. My Searing Light. I'm in Bahamut Trance. Or Dreadworm Stance, whatever. Or Dreadworm Trance. I'm in over my head here. Ah, the potential has arrived. Should test the limits of your power? Or shall we test the limits of your power? Oh no, not the Blight. Not the big B. Also a question. How do you look like that? I mean, just has white robes and a big horn. That's what the art has become. More, show me more! Ready with Bahamut's power, are you? He must have another taste. Ah, now he has Dreadworm Stance himself. Oh, hello. I know that. Like a flare. More elegant light. Let me go into this. Who's this man? Is worse than the Ashes. By the power of Bahamut. Shall we try something new? I guess they don't look like Eggy. They're straight up dragons. Nice, I did one. Okay. That's all I need to know. Oh yeah, I can use one for. Oh, Dancing Wolf can heal me. Okay, gotcha. Right. So, I'm just Searing Light again. I get with my Bahamut train. Is that? No! No! Not Rentania, please! Everything but Rentania, please! I'm gonna get no shield going because I'm taking all the damage. Not more dragons. Ah, another Bahamut Trance though. Boom! More Dreadworm Trance. Ah, good soup. And I want to potentially confirmed. Commencing scan. Latent ethereal capacity immeasurable. Standard parameters exceeded. Reinitializing system. What? He wants to go another round? Master, sorry. How have you come to be here? Master, surely you'd not be that sorry. Ah, Principia. They have woken you. This should suffice. What did you do to Prin? The construct is unharmed. I simply added another layer of security. Do not disappoint me, Summoner. I'll be waiting. How odd. The way he vanished was almost as if... Thal's teeth, what was that all about? Bah, we'll discuss this back in Nildar after we've seen to the wounded. You arrived in the nick of time, Lyn. Thanks to you, my soldiers survived that ambush, and they'll be fit for duty again after a bit of rest. Ah, you have our gratitude. If you hadn't plunged into the fray like that, we almost certainly would have perished. You said that bastard was Master Sari, didn't you? A summoner of ancient Alag? Did the mages have some way of coming back to life? Alright, Lieutenant. Let's not jump to conclusions. Well, he was wielding summoning magic, unlike aught we've seen before. Maybe Prin has some idea. I'll be sure to ask. Come then, let us return to Gridania. Right. Okay, this episode will be longer than usual. If it isn't already a little bit longer than usual. For the sake of, I want to finish the job quest before... I don't want to do... I don't want to start the next episode with another job quest before we do MSQ. Mainly or partly also, I like how I just gave it away, mainly because I would otherwise have to record. Like I would just record like a 10-minute video and then I have to, it'll be like the next day until I continue doing this because already a little late, my voice is tired. I know late, am I right, but I have a normal sleep schedule, you know. So, well, what was meant to be Lyn's final trial was certainly testing, to say the least. Tell me, Prin, what makes you so sure that was Master Sari? Based upon the evidence at hand, there can be no doubt. The vocal and ethereal signatures were identical to those exhibited by my creator. The only aspect that gives me pause in his behavior... The only aspect that gives me pause in his behavior is his behavior. Master Sari was never one to offer harm to others with such callous indifference. Ah, I would say that there is a larger inconsistency to consider here. Prin, your creator supposedly died several thousand years ago. There is one other possibility. The greatest minds of Alag unlocked a science known as cloning, by which they could artificially create a replicant of a living being. Their rock is, after all, a construction of the Allagan Empire. Assuming the individual you battled was indeed a clone of Master Sari, then my senses would recognize no appreciable difference. An exact copy of the original person. It would explain much, but the very thought of that is horrifying. Oh, and did he not tamper with your enchantments? Are you truly unharmed? My faculties are undimmed, but the wisdom I was to impart to Mistress has been sealed away in sealed behind an arcane lock. I can do nothing. I can do nothing. Only my creator holds the key. And your secrets are lost to us. If only Lyn had been able to attempt the third challenge. Attempt? Mistress has already passed it. Allow me to explain. The third challenge is a test of the summoner's nature. Thus does the trial require the presence of companions and a realistic threat. Master Sari's ambush did, of course, bring an unexpected dimension to proceedings. Yet Mistress leapt to the aid of her fellow summoners without hesitation, and braced considerable danger to see that they were safely rescued. Selfless acts that more than qualify Mistress as a worthy successor. I'd wondered why power and skill were not sufficient. Sari wanted to see his teachings passed on to summoners of noble heart. Correct. He would not countenance the idea that such knowledge might be put to evil ends. Now you understand why his display of violence so confused me. Aye, and all the more reason to suspect an impostor. But whatever this man's identity may be, we will track him down and make him remove that seal. Your purpose is too important. And I will assist you in any way I can. The master sorry that made me would not stand to see his memory profaned with such wickedness. Well said, Bryn. For an enchanted stack of ink and parchment, you have an impressively developed moral compass. I possess neither morals nor a compass. I merely follow my unspelled directions to guide worthy summoners. If I give the impressions of such characteristics, then mayhap I am overstepping my bounds as a familiar. No, you're fine. Bryn, forget I mentioned it. I will see if I can unearth more detailed records of Master Sari. Mayhap the story of his later life will aid us in unraveling this present mystery. Yes, Mars. Okay, and then we have the Red Mage one, which will probably have an instance. Let's see, what do we get at this level? 64. Oh. Woohoo. We get Verrays. I don't really think I need to explain this. So, like, the cast timer is freaking 9 seconds. However, you can just use dual cast. So just use Ver-Q and then you can instantly use a Verrays. Bam. You win the game. There's a reason why red mages can sometimes be called res mages. And are also invaluable at level 70 content. Not invaluable is a big word, but you don't need them because, you know, in the ideal situation you wouldn't die. But I feel like they're pretty valuable for progging, so. At least in my limited experience. Because it is quite limited indeed. Also, I need to repair this gear because that's looking pretty bad and I don't really want to run into any issues with that. That would go against a certain... that would go against me being the raid leader and always yelling about people not having their gear repaired. Anyway. Greetings, then. Aurea and I have begun wading through a sea of ancient text, but we've yet to fish out any promising cures for her condition. I did, however, recall something which may help narrow down our search. Long ago, Lambard had one particular book which he would read with uncommon intensity. I've forgotten the title now, but I do remember that inside were scrawled the memoirs of a deranged killer who was executed as a heretic in Ishgard. This criminal is said to have committed a number of ritualistic murders, all carried out with a most peculiar form of thaumaturgy. I merely thought it a vulgar choice of reading material at the time, but now I wonder if that peculiar form of thaumaturgy was what kept Lambard glued to its pages. It sounds positively awful, and yet it might just give us the clues we've been missing. I'll see if I can track those memoirs down. I understand it's quite a rare volume, and when it comes to hunting down elusive treasures, it may be worth consulting a professional treasure hunter. Then are you acquainted with Midnight Dew? Why don't you take Aria and pay her a visit? I will try my hand at a different route. It's a long shot, but Robina is known to stock a truly eclectic range of wares. Fuck her. Fuck her and all of her stuff. Anyway, moving on. Ah, it's you. Something you need? The heretic's memoirs for the young lady here. Bit of an awkward request, but who am I to judge? Oh, so you're working with Zrintia then. Though, I thought you wanted it for some sort of tasteless personal collection. Let me think now. Ishgardian heretic. Ritualistic killings? Ah, hells, it couldn't be. One of my fellow salvages was just telling tales of a treasure he'd spied in the Great Gooba Library, a rare book called Nightkin. Claims he glimpsed the title as he was running for his life through a Rhapsody's quadrangle. This is a sought-after tome for collectors of the macabre? Said to be written by an Ishgardian murderer who believed himself some manner of demon. Half a diary, half a grimoire, and chock full of bloody lunacy. Well, it certainly fits the description. We should head back to Rowena's and share the news with Zune. Yep. Thank you for your help, Midnight. Yep. Yes, Nightkin, that was the title. Written by a killer who thought himself born of fiends. Such a belief would certainly brand him a crazed heretic in his court. But I suspect the truth is he was much like Lambert, a mage who delved too deeply into forbidden arts. And you say that book was seen in the Great Google Library. I've not entered that place since the Shardians departed this land. What of you, Lynn? Like the back of your hand, eh? Well then, I vote for you to be our guide. I hadn't known the library's guardians had turned hostile. I'm sorry, Arya, but you will have to remain behind. No sense putting you in a situation where you might be forced to fling spells. Oh, I would have liked to see those fabled shelves, but you're right, of course. Come, Lynn, let us hurry through the hinterlands ere some intrepid scavenger makes away with our prize. Am I really gonna have to fly all the way down there? Son of a... Anyway, I'll meet you guys there. I'm not gonna let you guys watch that shit. Red mage incoming. Right, let's not dawdle once we're inside. We make straight for Rhapsody's quadrangle, and leave as soon as we've acquired the tome. From what I remember, the book Lambert would read was of a fair thickness and bound in leather covers. Hopefully it will not be too difficult to find. At least we get to listen to the music, I think. I hope. Oh, yes. It's more layered than library now. Lead the way, my friend. I don't need to check like any things, right? No. At least not yet. I think the Google Library may be like one of my favorite dungeons in the entire game. But also like the freaking Great Library in ffXIV was also like one of my favorite areas. Just Final Fantasy V has a lot of really nice areas. Basically the moment that I started playing that game, it's like the ship graveyard, I'm like, yep, I'm in. Send me in, coach. I like this version of the song, but I really, really like the other one. The hard version song. That one's really good. But it's like it goes the same for like the Lost City of Amnicore. The hard version also has a like superior song, in my opinion. Rip. A casting job being paralyzed as hell. I mean, paralyzed in general is hell, but... Look at me doing the work. Perish. Here we are, now to find the book. In the year 960 of the Styxhelm astral era, a murder did occur wherein a member of the clergy was struck down by a knight of common birth. The knight, whose name was Trefaniel, wet his blade in the priest's blood after witnessing the unspeakable abuse of an orphan wife under the pretense of an exorcism. May his conviction in the face of corrupted faith be praised. I hope I can read all of these. Pages contain incredible detailed pictures of female deities in various stages of undress. No male divinities appear to be included in this collection. Nope, not that one. The tome we seek is entitled Nightkin. During the Thorn dynasty, a series of unsolved killings shook the very foundations of Ul'dah. The murder was so named for the practice of leaving a card from the deck of Arcana by the bloody bodies of the slain. Officials publicly suggested that the murderer selected targets based upon divination, as several key figures of a faction that opposed the royal house were prominent amongst the victims. However, it was whispered that the seemingly random slaughter was merely a cover for political assassinations. Wow. I think that is the book we're gonna need. I hope in any case. I really don't want to find the actual book. The ink has faded to the point of illegibility. You need to read every page, my friend. Trust me, I want to. Today I visited Dwellsmith. Lady Amandine of D'Artancourt, a regular patron of mine, bid me call upon her household. I set off with confidence, my latest masterpiece in hand, but it was within the walls of Hawk Manor that I beheld the true pinnacle of perfection. Huh? Ah, we've roused the Guardian. Yay. The bibliotype is back. Maybe another one. Another one. Why are you that one? Oh my god. Oh! Okay. That's fine. I love this game's OST. Good soup. God, you son of a bitch. The bookish behemoth has fallen. I am the descendant of demons, a scion of tainted blood. It is for my brethren born into darkness, for the Nightkin, that I pen these words. The holy men will insist my teachings are madness, the ravings of a deranged killer. But you shall learn that all I scribe henceforth is eldritch truth, and their faith the twisted lie. Yes, we found it. There can be no mistake. We didn't tarry in this place. I've breathed my fill of moldy parchment. You did well in there, Lynn. I've never known acquiring a book from a library to be such a strenuous endeavor. May I see the tome? The Memoirs of a Twisted Killer, filled with musings on the nature of void-sent-tainted mortals and instructions for macabre rituals. Macabre? Still have no idea how to pronounce that. Yes, the author does certainly seem convinced of his demonic heritage. I can see how the clergy of the time would have passed these writings off as a heretic's delusion, but the spellcraft contained within is odd but incoherent rambling. Within his memoirs, this mage has provided specific instructions on the workings of forbidden sorcery. Little wonder that Lambert spent so much of his time studying the tome's secrets. But there's more, much more. Let us return to Idleshire. Arya needs to hear this. Right. Everybody, I can't believe it, but we're almost done. The job quests are almost done. And in the case, the level 65 ones, because then there's still 68 and the 70 ones. So yeah, and I presume the 70 ones will take a while too. I've just finished slogging through the last pages of the Nightkin. There were truths I discovered which made it difficult to continue, but amongst the mounting sense of horror, I found hope. Thus I bid you listen until the end of my tale. I shall begin with the author himself. And so this man who wrote the Nightkin was not merely some disturbed killer, but a mage who had mastered the arts of the ancients? Exactly so. A century ago in Ishgard, his monster in mortal guise devoured all manner of forgotten texts, teaching himself everything from red magic to Maki summoning rituals. The secret to his seemingly inexhaustible power lies in his bloodline. He was directly descended from a Maki archmagus who had ingested the lifeblood of the Void-Sent Queen Lilith. In fact, it was with this very archmagus that the vile practice of infusing oneself with Void-Sent blood first began. But if I told you how the red mages later outlawed these rituals, but the damage had already been done. Lilith's insidious energies had been passed on to the Magus's heirs. This clan of ether-drinking spellcasters became known as those who were born into darkness, the Nightkin. The revelation which truly shook me, however, was yet to come. I discovered that Lambert is, or was, a scion of the Nightkin clan, and quite likely, so are you, Arya. Or Ira. The book's author was of the Callowese family, a surname shared by Lambert. With no small amount of trepidation, I determined to look once more into your family records, and learned that the Callowese name was also prevalent on your mother's side. This can be no coincidence. Are you saying that Void-Sent blood runs in my veins? It explains your naturally strong affinity for black magics. When I remember that Lambert was of a similar arcane disposition, the connection is even more obvious. He had no need to ingest fiendish blood. He simply awoke the corruption which had always lurked within him. The rituals for doing so were clearly described in the pages of the Nightkin. Were these rituals performed upon me too? Again, it is doubtful, considering their complex requirements. My theory is that your latent talents were stirred into wakefulness quite by accident, through your induction into the ranks of the Red. I wonder, however, why the same awakening that took years for Lambert to occur so swiftly in you. An innate affinity, perhaps? Whatever the case, that this unstable condition was triggered by your desire for control certainly explains Lambert's parting barb about the injustice of your fate. But all is not lost. There is a way to undo the curse of your lineage. The first Callowese drew Lilith into our physical world by providing a mortal host for her soul to possess. He stood unflinching before the Fiendish Queen he had summoned, and forged with her a bargain of blood and darkness. Once the Archmagus had partaken of her essence, however, he entrapped her inside a heavily glyphed box. Her material form thus captured, Lilith was unable to return to a shadowy realm. It was written that her imprisonment on this plane of existence was a necessary act, lest the potency of her blood begin to wane. Do you understand what this means, Arya? I think so. The corruption inside me will only last as long as the Void-Sent Queen remains in our world. Oh, I see. We need to find that box and banish Lilith back into the void. Exactly right. Defeat the Void-Sent, and the curse upon your blood is lifted. Of course, a creature of Lilith's stature would ordinarily present a near insurmountable challenge. We are fortunate then that the summoner bound her essence to a feeble vessel that prevents her from manifesting her full power. Even we few should stand a chance against this lesser incarnation. Now it appears the author succeeded in tracking down Lilith's prison, and though the book makes no mention of the event, it is entirely possible that the box passed into his possession. Our surest bet will be to follow in his footsteps. Rest and prepare, my friends. We have an exciting adventure ahead of us. I'm actually very interested in this. But I'll have to wait for later, because we've got MSQ to do, and I've got to stop playing now, because my voice is not lasting much longer. Anyway, my friends, hope you enjoyed this episode of Just Us playing Final Fantasy XIV. And next episode, we are going to go and enter the Azim Steppe. Truly this time. Goodbye.